Welcome to Tell Me More, the All Steel podcast where design meets innovation and we explore the limitless potential of workspaces. In this exclusive series, we're peeling back the layers of workplace design. From the psychology of colors to the future of hybrid work, join us as we open doors to conversations with industry leaders, architects, and designers who redefine the modern workplace. This is Tell Me More, brought to you by All Steel, because when it comes to designing the future, there's always more to discover.
Hello, and welcome to All Steel's Tell Me More podcast, which is part of the Doing More series. I'm Kina Ingersoll, All Steel's National A&D Director, and I will be your host. Today's guest is Alexandria Davis. Alexandria is currently an interior design project lead at Corrigan, New York, and has recently completed a term as president of IIDA's New York chapter. She has a diverse portfolio of projects in consulting technology, financial, hospitality, and co-working industries. She is dedicated to creating human connection and transformative spaces. Alexandria, welcome to All Steel's Tell Me More podcast, and thank you for being here from Milan, where you are participating in Milan's Design Week.
Thanks so much for having me and for the invitation. It's really exciting to join you all and to be here and bring some ideas back to the team.
Yes, thanks again for joining us. So I did share a little bit about, or a lot, about the variety of spaces that you've created. What is your favorite space to design?
That's so difficult. Honestly, all spaces are my favorite because every client really brings a unique experience and has their own set of challenges, that they want to solve and translate, into space, those solutions. And in the last few years, I've had some clients that want to push some boundaries and bring community more into the space. And that's just something that's really near and dear to my heart. So I really love that.
Yes, I agree that community is a huge part of designing a space. And frankly, I was also curious about what inspires you to join the design community.
It's like kind of a roundabout way. Like a lot of people, I had a past life, and for my undergrad, I majored in art history, and I really wanted to work in museums and open a gallery. But one of my architectural history courses really inspired me to shift, and I saw how space could impact the perspectives and well-beings and experience of people, and I really wanted to build those impactful spaces instead. So,
Okay, this is going to sound crazy, but that's exactly my same why. I actually was also an art history and design major. And I was designing exhibits in New York, and then realized that I actually loved the design part rather than the art that was hanging on the walls. So I love that we have that connection there.
Same. Okay, we have to talk more about this.
Yeah. And then I went back to school for architecture. But anyway, in our introduction, I should share a few things, but I did not share your great passion for sustainability and making the best choices for our planet. What material selections do you think are most important in helping to create a more inviting and sustainable world?
I think that answer has, two sides to it.
Yeah.
While materials are, an enormous part of making better choices for our planet, it can go a little bit beyond that. And I also like to look on both ends as to where a product is coming from and where we'll end up in 20, 30, 50 years. I like to really focus on sustainability by keeping products, materials, and resources in use for as long as possible and think about how they can evolve or be repurposed rather than being discarded as waste, which I feel like, you can find something that's, low in carbon emissions, but exploring, a product's reusability or how it can support the economic opportunities for the local community, that's something that could take, sustainability to a new level.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone there. I think a lot of people, designers in particular, are really trying to focus on the reuse of materials and seeing how they can, make things last longer, frankly. So I also shared earlier that you were the IIDA president for the New York chapter. How do you use this platform to forward your goals and build community?
That was really interesting. Actually, before I was president, I was on the board as a VP of sponsorship, and then previously I was a committee member. So part of
Hmm.
the growth of that came from being within the community for so long and seeing different aspects of the community. So when I came into that role, my goal as president was really to focus on community engagement and well-being, especially after COVID. You saw how many things were disconnected and people were
Right. Yeah.
looking for new ways to come back together. And the past presidents had, each year had worked on different ways to do that. So, I in my own way was really looking to reconnect people, um, and really to involve the impact that we had on our communities, but also to investigate how we can better sustain them going forward. So if another, I don't know, pandemic or whatever comes in the future, what are we doing, to support each other? And that evolved in a few different ways, from looking at our framework and infrastructure to the creation of the partnership committee was created, emerging business sponsorship level, student career night, plus different strides we're making within advocacy for the industry. There's so many, so many things that were just so near and dear to my heart. But with each chapter leader and member, we all plant seeds for the future, and a lot of mine really leaned into solutions for engaging communication, education, and inclusivity more holistically. So I don't, 1 year goes by really fast, but you want to do do everything. So I will say it definitely takes a village, but
I don't know. It sounds like you did a lot.
it was just really amazing to see like how people came together, because a lot of us share, a lot of those same passions and drives within the community. So,
Yeah,
and
I
they're
guess
and they're
that
still
helps.
growing and evolving with each president too. So, yeah, it
So
was
it
it was
sounds like
fun.
the core, though, was really, built on community and trying to connect your design community within the New York chapter.
Oh, for sure, because like the core
Yeah.
of everything, the center of everything is people, right? It's the human. I think
Yes.
that's
Oh
what
my
it
gosh.
comes
Yes.
down to.
Actually, here at Allstill, we also center our um, structure and beliefs around humans, and we're
Beautiful,
super
right? Like
human
that's what
centered.
that's what we're
Yeah.
designing for. We're solving
Right.
for
That's
people,
exactly right.
right? So.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. That's so great. So besides the IIDA focus and building community through IIDA, I know you've also volunteered your time at NYC by Design. And how did you hear about the organization and what is the connection there for you?
For me, I mean, I've always just been like extremely curious, and I've always been such a big nerd about like art and design communities. And I remember researching different communities and exhibitions within art and design while I was still in college. Um, it's just honestly, truly just such a core part of who I am. I mean, I was going to museums and galleries with my mom when I was little, so I was just always looking for what is the evolution of that? What is the new space for that? So I heard about it in college, this annual celebration of art and design in New York, and then I looked into other ones around the country and around the world. So I just really wanted to be involved in it and learn more about it. So honestly, it was kind of on my it was on my radar, um, for a very long time ago. And then when developing the partnership committee within IIDA New York, I was wondering, I was like, why are we not involved in this? I mean, they
Mm.
celebrate all types of design, right?
Yes.
Giving a
Yeah.
platform for diverse voices in design and art. So it just felt like a natural connection point that just amplifies not only the voice of design within New York, but the voice of IIDA, New York within the greater design and art community. And I just think it can go many places, honestly, and support our community in so many different ways.
Yes, and I actually now I'm here learning a lot more about you.
Mm.
It also relates back to your major in art history, so
It,
kind of full circle in a lot of ways.
it does. Honestly, I'm really, really excited. Like, whether it's, right now here, Salone is kind of, it's the same, where you have all this art and design,
Yes,
these
that's true.
exhibitions, all these
Um,
great things that just inspire you. And it's also a remindful and grounding fact that art and design is for everyone. It's not
yeah,
for just one group of people. It's not supposed to be based on how much you pay for it or how much access you have to it or be
mm,
behind this locked
I
door.
love
It's
it.
truly for everyone. So
Yeah.
it just felt like a natural connection point for IDA.
Yes, agreed. I love it. I love it all. So, when you think about interior design in your community, what type of opportunities inspire you? And is there anything you have contributed to or hope to contribute to in the future?
People. Anything has to do with people, just
Mhm.
make the
Yes.
human experience better. But really opportunities that are on the forefront of innovative solutions or new solutions to age-old challenges in our world. That's really inspiring to me. We have so many
Hmm.
advancements, like every year there's something new that's coming out that can solve for something. So if we can look at items that have been maybe a consistent challenge in a new way, like that's just so exciting. And last year for the partnership team with NYC by Design, we had an
Right.
event that was a discussion on AI. So we're taking some new conversation topics and really not only pushing them, but making it like a cross creative industry conversation where everyone's involved in it. I mean, we had anyone from CFOs and clients to product designers to architects to students to urban planners. I mean, it was just a conversation with everyone just exploring a new topic. And that's just so exciting to me because it's going to take different viewpoints to figure out how to solve for some of those things. So that's one thing that we're doing, and we're having another one this year. Hope to see you. Um, but yeah, just being a part of some of those conversations, really trying to push the envelope as to what we think is things that we think work now, maybe they won't work in 10 years, and can we get ahead of that? So I hope to contribute.
So you said something that perked my interest a little bit, which was that the huge discussion right now is around AI, and especially for designers. Some people are fearing it, some people are embracing it, and it's definitely a hot topic, honestly, for everyone. Maybe not just our industry too, but would love to know. What's your perspective on AI, and do you see that as a positive or a negative, or just trying to figure it out right now? Do you
It's
use it? Yeah.
I see
Yes, we're all trying to figure it out. Yes.
what is it? I see it as a tool, honestly. I mean,
Yeah,
Revit
great.
came out. We're doing 3D
Hmm.
modeling. It's a tool. You have Rhino, you have Photoshop, you have
Hmm.
Illustrator. Like they're all like these are all tools that we use.
Yeah,
It shouldn't replace human thought, and honestly, it can't. It can replicate ideas, right? Like it can pull from different resources, but you also have to know the right questions to ask, and that takes
oh
like
my gosh, exactly.
it
Yes.
takes a human. And then also based on the questions that you do ask, if you don't have checks and balances, it's going to have built-in bias, right? So like there are so many different factors to it where it's still a tool, and any tool can be used in a hurtful or harmful way. It can have pros and cons. I definitely think the technological advancement is a part of every industry, but it's how do we use it and adapt with it that I think is going to be the true learning point. And it's not going to go away, right? It's going to evolve into who
No.
knows what's it's going to evolve. So it's like let's learn how to use it and make it beneficial to our projects, to our processes, so that we can maybe leave more time for true human creation versus some of the remedial tasks. Actually, I had a conversation with a few editors, and there was an interesting conversation where they were saying how they've used it to not to like write their work, but to help synthesize if they need to like quickly turn something into a a short summary post, right? Like, hey, take this
Yeah,
that I made and can you make it into a quick, but that saves time so that way,
right.
they can work on the next the next
Yeah.
recipe.
Or to
So
help them with, say, their research and things like that. Yeah.
yeah, or it's like that email that you can't get started and it's just
Hmm.
like sitting at the back of your head and you're like, okay, how would you write an email to blank? It's a tool. Or, you know, think about how many times you might research a topic. I know with a lot of concept development, we might research um, different science processes or different communities or different, global locations. You ask all these questions and you have to search each link for a different keyword that maybe sparks a
Yes.
new question.
Yes.
Whereas maybe you can ask
It's
questions
tedious
that,
work. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah, you can say, hey, can you give me all the research you have on this? Okay, well, what if you look at it from this angle? So it's a tool. It's just about how are you using it, I guess, productively and thoughtfully instead of like letting it kind of lead the charge for you because it's
Yeah.
not going to. Yeah.
I 100% agree with everything you just said.
That's what I'm
Love to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Great. When you're thinking about individuals coming up in our industry, And I guess, what is the best advice you can give a young designer?
Just to keep going. Like you're capable of so much more than you know. And sometimes that's not always told to you. So don't let anyone ever,
Mhm.
try
It's
to
true.
convince you of otherwise, but just keep going. And a large part of the creative process is personal. It's truly personal. Yeah, there are deadlines and there are standards and there are many end goals and points, but a large part of the way that you get there is individual. So understanding your personal curiosity and what drives your creativity is really pivotal in that growth because then as projects and things adapt, you can adapt with it. And like one of the things that honestly was pivotal for me to learn was how much this industry adapts.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, it's really the process of being agile. I've never had one project, I don't know about you, but I've never had one project that was exactly what we expected it to be from beginning to end. Like and once you stop fighting that, stop fighting the current, things flow so much better. You're like, okay, there's something's gonna change. It's fine. We'll figure it out. But sometimes I think we hold on to things because this is how it's supposed to go and this is how it's supposed to be. And this is the process we're used to, where true creativity doesn't happen in that box.
Yeah. And actually, I love what you just said, which was stop trying to hold on to something
Hmm.
and assume that it's going to flow in the path of travel that you're comfortable with or
Yeah.
used to, or that someone else told you is the sort of normal path of travel.
Yeah. You might
That,
find a new column on your construction site that you never knew was there. It's happened. Like, your backgrounds may have a different have a completely different column grid, but
yeah.
curveballs happen and we figure it out.
Thanks for sharing all of that, and I totally agree. So we are nearing the end of our discussion, and I was hoping we could end with a philosophical question or on a philosophical note, and ask you, how can designers support one another in the changing world? And what can we do to connect and inspire our fellow designers and the design community? I know that was a lot, but I'd
And
love to hear from you a
I
little
think
bit about,
I think
your overarching philosophy and how can we
overarching,
inspire
yeah,
folks?
I'll leave you, I guess, with a quote from one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
It's something that's definitely led my creative, I don't know, my perspective in general. It's really like kind of shaped that. And anyone who's known me has probably heard it before, but it's a quote that says, "Argue for your limitations and they are yours." And I think we can support each other, one another, and ourselves by just letting go of limiting beliefs, because creativity truly lives outside of the box. So I'll leave you with that because I think if you can release yourself right from those limitations, saying you can't do something, you don't know until you've tried. So
My gosh, I love it. And yeah, I think we all feel like we have our limits, but if we can push through and believe in ourselves and push through those limits, we can do more, which is part of what this podcast is all about, is doing more. So thank you so much, Alex, for joining us today. And thanks to our listeners. Please tune in to our next Tell Me More podcast. And Alex, can't wait to hear about all the stories from Milan.
so excited to share them.
Hey, thanks again.
Thanks, Al.
And that brings us to the end of another fascinating episode of Tell Me More. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of design and innovation. If you're hungry for more insights and stories, make sure to subscribe to Tell Me More on your preferred podcast platform. As we sign off, remember that the conversation doesn't end here. Connect with us on social media at AllSteel and share your thoughts, questions, or even your favorite moments from the podcast. We love hearing from our engaged and curious audience. Stay tuned for our next episode where we'll continue exploring the Design to Do More philosophy. Until then, thanks for listening.